James, let's get right into the Saban conversation. Of course, with it not being an off week, I love the way Story set up. No game this week. It's off week, and Tua plays a lot. So why don't Alabama go ahead and make the switch, James? I mean, come on. Jalen was 13 for 21 with 198 yards. Come on, Alabama's offense struggled against Tennessee, but they lit it up when Tua came in. Of course, I'm being sarcastic, people. But I did start getting some conversation around Tua even before the game was over. And as I always like to say, Jalen is your starting quarterback, and Tua is an electric passer. I'll never take anything away from the kid's passing ability. He has one of the quickest releases. He has something you can't teach. James, and here's my question before we get into any of those conversations, any of those clips. Jalen and Tua both playing at Alabama. Which person do you think the offense is built for the other person to look the best?
I think there's no question, Martin. You look at just the offense that they're running, it's for Jalen.
Do you think so?
I think
when was the last time you saw Jalen run the ball? Let me ask you this question. Let me put it to you this way. Okay. If Jalen was at Louisville or Jalen was at Auburn, would anybody, or even Clemson, would we be asking those questions about Jalen Hurts? Jalen, if you put Kelly Bryant here, you put Lamar Jackson here, you put even Stidham sometimes. All Stidham does to me is complete the deep ball. And so you see what I'm saying? Jalen, the offense is built for Jalen in a sense, but to me, we don't run the ball. We do read options, but we're not a true read option offense. We're still pro. We still got enough of the pro style that if you were to just go all the way Jalen, all the way dual threat, hurry up, would Jalen not look better? And go ahead.
And those are some good points. I will say for Jalen, we may get to, if not today, sometime during the week. We've kind of talked about this before the show too, as far as some of Jalen's improvement in passing over the middle, which Saban addressed thanks to our very own Aaron Suttles in that first question of the press conference. But I will say this for Tua, Martin. We'll probably get to this later too. I did like the response that he had after the interception as far as how he played, albeit with the game pretty much out of hand by that point. But I think it bodes well for him, for Tua individually and the team going forward. But it kind of does show Tua as far as just that taking this extra steps up as far as level of competition that he faces, because I think that interception throw that he made, he could have gotten away with in high school, not in the SEC.
Right. And see, I have zero issue with what we say about Tua. I mean, the response to the interception, great response by a true freshman. Comes back, goes right at it. The play he makes when he extends the play to Mr. TD. I don't know if anybody else is calling that, but Henry Ruggs is no longer Henry Ruggs III. He is Mr. TD. 5 catches, 5 touchdowns. What else can you call the guy? I mean, the guy has more touchdowns than I had my entire career, okay? I had the same number that I had my entire career. He has 5 catches, 5 touchdowns. But you can't say anything. I mean, the only thing you can say with Tua is to use caution, okay? And that's what I tell Alabama people. Use caution with Tua. As far as his accuracy, as far as his ability to keep his eyes up when he scrambled, as far as his ability to put the right touch, the right speed, all of those things are good. But he's playing when he comes in when the game's 28-0 or 38-0. And the defense has either tired, been beat down, or they're giving up. And so give Tua credit, James. But I'm talking about when you look at Jalen, is this the right offense for Jalen? Would Jalen, if all of a sudden, what's Jalen's biggest strength? His legs. But we've slowly, if you go from his leadership and his legs, He has the ability that nothing impacts him. If you look at the offense from game one to game now, we have almost completely went away from a dual threat offense and a running quarterback. Okay? When Jalen's running the ball now, it's almost because he's scrambling too quick or he's scrambling on his own. And that's the question I have is where will this offense land, James? Jalen's not going to lose his job this year unless he gets hurt. I mean, you can't bench a guy that's never lost a game because anybody that thinks you may want to jump in on this conversation. Anybody that blames Tua for that loss again in the Clemson game obviously has not watched the Atlanta Falcons play. Did they ever score?
Yes, they did.
Did they score? Did they finally score?
23-7 was the final.
Okay. Did you see any of that game?
Let's just say I've seen some of Gary Harris's comments on Twitter about it.
They had the ball at the half-yard line.
Yes, I heard about that.
And they ran a misdirection rollout pass with Julio dragging all the way across the field. They were at the half-yard line.
What is it about NFL offensive coordinators that want to pass at the 1 yard line? Because my boy Malcolm Butler got his claim to fame in the NFL on that.
It gets better, James. After they do that incomplete, they ran a reverse. Hey, James, they came up to the line, half-yard line, no running backs in the backfield. No running backs in the backfield at the half-yard line. And ran a reverse and lost 5 yards at the half-yard line. Sarkisian. I immediately went and Bama dodged the bullet by Sark leaving and going to Atlanta. Please don't blame Jalen. I thought it was because Bo Scarborough got hurt. No, it was because Sarkisian was the play caller. That guy is absolutely horrible. But anyway, I digress. Let's get back to Jalen. Let's see what Saban had to say about Jalen and his improvement with throwing the ball over the middle, which I think they need to incorporate into the game more. Stop making him pass the ball outside quite so much. Use the middle of the field, then maybe he'll get better on the outside.
Well, I think that to have balance on offense is really, really important. We didn't do a good job of first half of controlling the line of scrimmage. You know, they were doing a lot of corner cats, a lot of star fires, loading the box all the time. So really they're almost forcing you to throw the ball. And we made some plays in the passing game, and Jalen did a nice job. So I thought, some of the play action passes that we threw in the second half were certainly instrumental in us sort of loosening them up a little bit.
Jalen, to me, is a much better passer over the middle. And I'm not a conspiracy theorist or anything. Jalen's best passing is over the middle. Kiffin didn't use it, and we haven't used it this year. We finally used it this year because we were forced to. But you go back and look at this year, Florida State game, he hit over the middle. You go back and look at this game, he hit over the middle. You go back and look at the last game, he hit over the middle. And I call it a hit when you force a pass interference on a 20-plus yard pass. If you get – to me, that's like a completion. Because if they don't pass interfere, you 9 times out of 10, you pass it. You complete it. So when you look at that, yeah, Jalen has to get better at the outside. But why do you keep using the guy's weakness? Why do you keep throwing it to the outside if he's obviously better over the middle? I don't know. I'm just a guy doing a radio show. Those guys make a lot more than I do. And anything we complain about here on Alabama, whether it be what Jalen's done, what Tua's doing, or what the running back's doing, it's really picking straws, man. You know what I'm saying? You could be a Tennessee fan, Alabama folk. So that's the other side of it. Hey, but real quick, I want to be fair to Tua because Tua had an opportunity to respond to some adversity, which was a good sign for Alabama fans that want to know two things. One is, can Tua handle the pressure of a big-time game? I know he came in late in the game, and I've tried to point that out, but it's also still transferable knowledge and experience when you throw an interception and then have to come back and respond, and you're playing against SEC. This is what Coach Saban had to say about Tua and his response after throwing the interception.
Played great. Played fine. He was fine. You probably don't know Tua very well, but he apologizes and says thank you and apologizes for everything, and he was apologizing for that. And, so, if you ask Tua how he's doing, he will say thanks for asking. So, sometimes I say that to him now. He says, how's it going, Coach? I said, good, man, thanks for asking. So he's made me more polite.
You know what? Alabama fans were picking straws. I'm not ready to crown Tua as a guy who's ready to lead a team to a national title. I am ready to say that Tua has all of the makings that you want in a quarterback that can lead your program to the next level and win a championship. I'm not going to be surprised, James, if they don't work him in earlier, because to me, that's the question I still want. If I was a coaching staff, I would still want to see, because you have to go back and look. Was it because he was freshman and he was nervous? He did not play well against Fresno State when he was in, and he didn't play well against Colorado State when he was in. And that's when the game was still on the line. That's when he got some first half playing time. But that was early. Was that because of that? Because you watch how he's running the ball against the guys now. 5 games ago when he ran the ball, he looked like a freshman. Now he's running the ball and he looks a lot more confident. And so I wonder how much of his performance early was based on the fact that he was nervous and a true freshman, and the speed of the game was just a shock. We're going to probably get the chance to see that and see what's going on. Let me see. You've got a couple comments on Facebook. Have to be honest, I was livid at Tua for such a silly interception. That was Robert Saucier. Kevin Smith, we have been passing over the middle. We need to use all the weapons. We've not Kevin, I disagree with you. I don't think we've been passing it over the middle. I think we've just been throwing it to the outside, and mostly just to Calvin Ridley, the prima donna, who it's getting hard for me to even watch when they throw the ball to him because of his attitude. And just being honest with you. And Robert Saucier saying, but why wasn't the block in the back called on the return? Beautiful question. If we had a block in the back, which that's going to be part of our next segment, Spiller Furniture and Mattress Good, Bad, and Ugly, the officiating, why they didn't call the block in the back on Cam Sims when they called the block in the back on Keaton Anderson on the punt return. Got the Spiller Furniture and Mattress Good, Bad, and Ugly coming up in the second quarter right here on the Blitz on your home for Alabama Sports Tide 102.9 and 100.9